Hello, hello. Welcome to True Blue Quilts. And this is my Wednesday sew and chat. And the format's a little bit different because I hopped over on Zoom so I could have friends with me live. Say hello, Amanda,
Hello.
and
Much more fun with friends.
tell everybody a little bit about your channel.
My channel is Stitching Life Together. I do two weekly lives now. I'm doing Teaching Tuesdays and then a sit and stitch or sit and sew on Thursdays.
Great.
So
I'm
I'm
so glad
teaching
you had,
beginner quilting tips.
yeah, I'm glad you had the time here on a Wednesday in your schedule.
Yes.
So you'll be a full week of events.
Yeah, 3 days in a row. It's all right with me.
Yeah, any excuse to sew.
Right?
But we are doing a puzzle mystery quilt. So tell us about your experience. Have you done this before?
This is my first. I'm
Your
so
first
excited.
cotton cuts.
Yes, first
Have you
cotton cuts, first mystery quilt, anything.
you've never done any kind of mystery quilt?
No.
Oh wow. So are you feeling brave? How are you feeling about this whole adventure?
Yeah, I'm excited about it. I'm excited to see what it'll be in the end.
Yeah, I have done lots. I've got my box. I haven't even opened it yet, but I write the name on it because I've got a couple of them going. So
Oh, yeah.
really important to stay organized, but I think I've got it figured out. Um, you're all set there. What colorway are you doing?
I chose Marina. I
Woo!
believe this is what you got, right?
And yes, I did get that. And I just noticed I put things on upside down. My writing is upside down. Oh, it's been a day, let me tell you. Yes, but I had a true mystery because I let the other ambassadors choose for me. And it was kind of fun because it was Sean, who I know from other live stream events.
Yes.
And we just rip open that paper and I've got all my clues and stuff. And yes, I am really excited about Marina, those nice, pretty batik.
Yes. And I don't use batiks a lot. So I'm excited to work on this. I do love the feel of batiks. Like, I
Yeah,
think they're super soft.
and some people find them a little bit stiffer, and that's because of the way they do wax resist and the dyeing
Hmm.
process. It gives them a little bit firmer um, feel sometimes, so you can get really nice crisp seams
Yes.
and blocks. Um, I did want to point out the cutting chart, and it's not really a cutting chart because they pre-cut everything for us, but it gives us an inventory. So if you want
Okay.
to
I
go
wondered what
through
that was.
and double check that you have
Mhm.
all the pieces you're supposed to have,
Oh, I got you.
that's what this guide is for. And for a different project, 1 month I was short some of the triangles. They didn't give me the right
Hmm.
pieces. All you have to do is send a quick email to support@cottoncuts.com. Tell them, the project and the clue number and all that kind of stuff. And, as soon as they can, they will get replacement out to you. So,
Okay.
uh,
That's good to know.
if you ever run into a
Yeah.
problem. So here is clue one. Are you all unpacked and ready to sew?
Yep, I got it unpacked anyway. I did listen to your live from I think last week, and I am going to save this clue one and then put whatever I make in there. I was like, oh, that's a good idea because I was
Yep. And here
not thinking
is
that.
our little gift.
I know it's so cute.
We get a really nice
I know
notepad
I
there
love
with
it.
the beautiful Cotton Cuts logo on it. And I'm always reaching for scrap paper in my sewing room.
Yes.
So this is very, very
I'm gonna
handy.
lay it right beside my machine.
Yep. And then all of that box can go out of the way. And I keep my instruction sheet handy. Everything's in black and white. At least well, it is because they put it in
Yes.
black and white. Um, but for people that haven't sewn with cotton cuts before, the clues come via email. So even though I have the whole kit, I have to wait each month for the actual instructions to arrive, and so I can download them on my computer. And then I keep my color chart handy, and I'm going to make some notes for myself as I'm looking at the colors. So there's like, I'm calling this fabric, which is C in this
Mm-hmm.
group. These are my light leaves. So I'm just
Oh,
putting
okay.
a little note
That's a good tip.
next
Mm-hmm.
to the C blocks that those are the light leaves. And I mean, it makes it a little bit faster.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
I could see how this would get, yeah, you would get confused, especially
and
on
then,
ours because fabric A and fabric F are very similar.
right. And I saw some discussions online
Mm-hmm.
that, about the difference there. And it's not going to show
Yes.
up on my computer, I'm sure, the difference there, but almost. You can see that this fabric F, and the easy thing for clue one is that the F triangle is much bigger than the A triangle. So
Mm-hmm.
that's your first clue. But then when I look at this fabric, the dots are a little bit closer together, and there's more, like the background is almost yellow.
Right.
Whereas on A, the dots are more spread out and it's more white.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how I'm going to,
I
um,
could see how you could have, if you had trouble with colors and seeing colors, it could be difficult.
yeah, yeah. And sometimes they use, like if you've seen any of our friend Tasha Quilts, her
Mm-hmm.
video, they actually used the same print in two different colorways in her, uh, for different fabrics.
Oh,
So
yes.
depending on how it was cut, it was really hard to tell which
I do remember seeing those. Yes.
colorway was which on some of those. But yeah, so we've got all our pre-cut pieces, and once you figure out what your color, which pieces are which color and which go
Yeah.
with which step,
Whoops.
we are ready to go. And we get to start out with flying geese.
I feel like I need to lay these out somewhere. I don't have enough room.
I know that is the
Oh, I love this one. I love this blue with the
with the
um
little leaves on it. I know, isn't that
leafy
pretty?
background. Yeah.
Yep, yep.
Purples.
And since everything is pre-cut, all we have to do is line up those corners on our triangle and we are ready to sew.
Well, how fun is this?
I know. I always start with that right-hand corner of my flying
Mm-hmm.
block.
And we're making two of these.
Yeah.
C and B.
Do you have, you call it your nest, the way you have
Yes.
the machine set up.
Yep.
So you have an iron all.
Oh yes, I got my little Alicio iron ready to go.
Yep, I've got mine too.
Yep. I got my mat. I love my sewing nest.
I saw Barry Quilts was giving a tour of his sewing room, and he has a travel iron and a small mat, a wool pressing mat. He keeps a wooden cutting board under his wool mat to provide even just that little bit
Oh,
extra uh, insulation so it doesn't go through to his
yeah. I
cutting
hope
mats
mine's
and his
not going through.
table.
I have a sewing, like your sewing mat that I made with all the pockets underneath mine.
Oh, there you go.
Since my husband inset my machine, it wouldn't fit on my sewing table, cutting or machine table anymore.
And I did notice that on some of my lives, I put my a litho iron. I mean, it comes with the silicone mat, but I had
Mhm.
that sitting on just the corner of my big cutting mat because I have a table right behind my sewing machine. And now that mat has a
Yes.
warped corner on it.
I did the same thing. I did it to my caterpillar one.
Yep.
I was
It's
like,
not a big
oh.
deal because I don't use that corner of the cutting mat very often.
Mm-hmm.
I looked over one time and I was like, oh, that's because I was not thinking when I put all that stuff down. And since we are Blue One and people may be new to this process, and wondering about the whole pre-wash and starch question. What's your general philosophy when you're quilting about pre-washing fabric?
I never pre-wash fabric.
Girl
I
after
did
my
it
own heart.
way back in the day, and everything came out frayed and raveled in a big ball. And I don't starch or I use best press
Mhm.
as I'm pressing blocks, or if I have new fabric, I will best press spray it. But
Mhm.
no, I don't starch or pre-wash.
Yeah, I rarely pre-wash. Very, very occasionally, if I'm super organized and have some
Mm-hmm.
extra time, then I'll take things down and pre-wash. But obviously, with pre-cut pieces, you're not going to want to throw these in the wash anywhere.
No.
So, um, and unfortunately, batiks, these darker batiks um, may run. So before
Mm-hmm.
I once I have the quilt top done, and I'll go ahead and quilt it, probably put something dark on the back, and just invest in a whole bunch of color catchers and throw
Yes.
those in the wash.
I have never, knock on wood. I mean, I've been quilting for 20 years. I've never had a quilt. I've never had a quilt fabric run yet, but I do use color catchers.
Yeah, I've
That's
had a couple bleed a little bit, so um, that's the nature of fabric and dye. Sometimes it's that
right, right. So,
gotta go somewhere. But even Cotton Cuts recommends that you do not starch or best press or anything on
mhm,
these fabrics because you may distort them
right.
out of the
Yeah.
size that they're supposed to be
There's
for.
a lot of bias in this on these
Yeah,
cuts. So they're
yeah.
already stretchy. So
So,
I
and
did, that's funny because I just made a survey on my YouTube channel about pressing, whether people use starch or dry pressing, because I've been hearing a lot about the acorn pin.
oh yeah, yeah,
People are using the acorn pin on their seams instead of pressing.
yeah.
So I've heard a lot of people say they don't use water, which I understand why, because I have had my iron leak weird things on me before. So that I get.
I'm well with my little Aliso on these on camera sewing sessions. I just use the really hot iron. Um,
Yeah, same.
I
Hmm.
have another full size steam iron, so I do use steam. And for a long time, I was, making sure I had the distilled water and everything. And then I said,
Hmm.
screw it, I'll just use the tap water.
Right. Actually, it does recommend that you use half and half. So
Oh, okay.
I have done that, half distilled, half tap. So I have done that.
Yeah. So I just, so a lot of time it's a time thing. I don't have the time to be all fancy with things. I
Right.
just want to get it done.
And I'm like you. I like my little Alicia over here in my nest, and then I don't ever put water in this one.
Hmm.
I don't make flying geese very often, so I got to think about what I'm doing. Not something I guess I make very much.
I'm just well, later on in the process, we have um, a square and a square unit, but for our flyway project, every single clue had square and a square units. It's like
I heard that from everybody I follow on YouTube. They all said the same thing. Another square and a square.
yep.
So how many cotton cuts have you done?
This is my third one.
Okay.
And they're such a nice, easy project to fit in between other things
Yes.
because you only have the one clue every month. And so you're making the equivalent of maybe one or two blocks, which you can get done in
Right.
a short
Yeah.
time.
Sean and I were talking about that. He's like, when I get home from work, sometimes I just need a few minutes in my room, and if I have my cotton cuts, it's pre-cut. It's nice to come in and not have to think about something sometimes, and you just pick up and sew.
Yep.
I usually do try to have something, at least one project already in the works or cut and ready. That way, if I do have time to sew and I need to just get in here and, unwind for a little bit, I can do that. I have a D and a B.
I'm just checking in with the other gals.
And then I have a C and a D. Okay. C and D. Oops.
So I've got ones.
I listened to the first episode of season 5
Of our
this week.
podcast.
Your
Thank you.
podcast.
Thank you.
I love your podcast. Yes.
Um,
It was really great information. Whoops. What did I do?
It is quilting on the side. And if you want to see me and Tori's smiling faces, you can watch on YouTube, but we're also on Apple Podcasts and Spotify, all the usual places. And sometimes the pressing instructions seem odd for these units, but go ahead and try to follow the directions so that
Yeah, if I get pressing instructions, I typically try to follow them because I figure they've probably already done it and they kind of know what they're doing, maybe.
yeah, they know how it's going
Yeah.
to end up and where it needs to nest with other things.
How are things at work? Are they getting better for you?
They continue to be busy, and I was thinking about that today because I it's like I spend because I'm an instructional designer, so I'm creating training materials, which
Mm-hmm.
takes brain power. So I'm
Right.
when I'm in the middle of a project, it's like I get done with work and I'm a couch potato, which is
Mm-hmm.
not good for trying to do anything else with quilting because
Right.
I'm like I don't even want to touch my machine. But I'm taking a mental health day on Friday, so hopefully I will get
Oh, good.
some sewing time in
Good deal.
then.
Are you a seam setter? Are you setting your seams as you sew?
No, I was so good last week and I did it, and this week I'm just going for it.
Oh, see, and I pressed that to the wrong direction.
Okay, and then I'm
I didn't even follow directions
a
anyways.
couple ahead of you, and That does not.
Pressed it the right way. Let's try that again.
I was trying to eyeball where my seam allowance was because you can tell from the shadow.
Yeah.
But I was scooting it over too far because I didn't see where I was like on the wrong side of the shadow, and it was making my block not line up. But when I lay the block even with the edges, the seam allowance is dead on. So I'm just gonna go for it.
Go for it. Yep, go with it then.
But I always like to put my flying geese unit on top so that I can aim for my where
Oh,
my
that's a good tip. Yeah. Okay. Oh, now we get to assemble the block.
So you said you've been sewing for 20 years. What's the hardest, most epic quilt that you've done?
I don't know. I'm a pattern follower, so I don't make my own or design my own. I'm trying to think of what I've done.
Are you a paper piecer?
Oh yes, I love FPP and EPP. I do both.
Okay. Because those
Um,
can be kind of challenging for a lot of people.
yeah. I love my Dresden plate quilt
Mm.
I made. I always tell everybody if there's a house fire, that's coming with me.
Yep.
It's like my pride and joy. So that's one of my favorite things I've ever made. I've made a couple carpenter stars.
Oh, nice.
A double wedding ring is on my wish list. I really want to make a double wedding ring.
I
bought
would,
a FPP pattern to do that.
um, when I first started quilting, I heard about they called it quilt camp, and
Uh-huh.
it was like a week-long retreat. Um, in the mountains a couple hours away from my house, and it was just I was like, okay, I'm gonna go because my it was I guess I went the first time before my daughter was born, so it was no big deal to take off for 5 days and go quilt. And it was one of those things that I was young and naive, and so I signed up for a double wedding wing quilt, and I had only finished maybe 2 projects by that point.
Right. You're like, what did I do to myself?
Exactly. It was like I got a couple arches done, and the curves, it was like, yeah, no, I'm not gonna finish this. But now that it's been 20 years and I've done curves before, I'm like, I think I can
Right.
power through that now.
Okay, now let me make sure I'm doing this right.
If you want to preview, that's
Yeah, nice. I hope I got mine lined up good enough.
those 2 sections do match up with
Mm-hmm.
the bees. I haven't even paid attention to many of the other colorways, so it'll be fun to see everybody.
I haven't either. I've kind of been trying to avoid everybody's videos because I'm like, I don't want to see the first clue put together. I want to do my own.
Right.
So I haven't been watching them. I'm like, oh, they're doing clue one. I'm like, nope, I'm gonna wait. I want to see it for myself.
Exactly. There's some people that don't mind the spoilers, but yeah, I'm with you. I'd like to do it myself.
Yeah, I want to be a surprise. Excited because I've never done anything. I've never done a mystery quilt of any kind.
I've done several over the years, Um,
Okay, let's see how I did.
well, I was going to have one of
Oh,
my
I did it wrong.
other viewers come on, but I just got a message from her that she has been dealing with repairman and a new washer and dryer. So we will let her get
Yeah.
settled and life calm down, and then maybe another time.
Yeah. All right, I got one done. The other one I sewed backwards. I got to switch my 2 blocks around. I did it backwards. Let me get Jack out. Jack wanted to come and hang out tonight.
Oh man,
That's
what a
okay.
guy.
I know. You know, I don't enjoy having to rip, but I do recommend this one's called a seam fix
Mm.
and it has the rubber tip.
Hmm.
So once you get done, then you can just take it and you just rub it and
Hmm.
it pulls out all the loose threads.
Yep.
So I
Yep.
only pick about every 4 to 5 stitches, every fourth or fifth stitch, and then it just pulls right out. And then that little rubber tip will just pull all the little tiny threads out.
Yeah, that's really nice and handy to have that.
Because you know you're going to rip at some point in time. Yeah, I just flipped around that 2-piece block for some reason. After you, and I knew it matched up with the other one, but I still didn't even catch it.
And as much as we complain about having to seam rip, when I am teaching a class, I have no problem just if someone makes a mistake. Oh, here, let me rip that out for you.
Right.
I take care of
Yep.
everybody's seam ripping.
Now let's flip that around. And do that again. There, now that looks better.
So when you teach a beginner class, what block do you start with?
Well, let's see, the first class I taught, we just did strip sets.
Oh, okay.
I've tried different things. And then the
Mhm.
second series of classes, we did a 4-patch quilt, like a little
Oh, that's right.
quilt, but it
Mhm.
was just too much cutting.
Sure.
So it was just overwhelming. I mean, they did great. Their quilts were amazing.
Mhm.
So I've actually been asked to teach at a local quilt shop. And I think I'm going to take it down to a table runner.
Mhm.
And I'm not sure if I want to do like some kind of star block with some half square triangles. Um, I haven't figured it out yet. I thought about doing 3 different quilt blocks and having them make a table runner.
Mhm.
Maybe like, I don't know, like a 4-patch or a 9-patch, and then like a Ohio Star or Lemoyne Star, something simple like that.
Yeah. I
Um,
do um I do a sampler for my in-person beginner class, and here
mhm.
is the full part one.
You're like kicking butt over there. Here I am,
I
like
Yeah, don't worry. I sew.
dilly dallying around.
Nope, I just sew super fast.
I usually do too, because when I sew with my quilt bestie, she's like, "You're way ahead of me." I'll be behind, and then I come right back, and she's like, "You're ahead of me again."
Yep.
I'm sorry.
Um, so for my beginners, we always start out with a rail fence,
Okay, that's a good
and
one.
then because I like them to have uh 3 fabrics for the sampler, like a multicolor print and then 2
Mm-hmm.
accent colors.
Okay.
And that way, if we do a rail fence, they can use all 3 of the colors and then
Mm-hmm.
mix and match the other ones. And then I do a simple framed square
Mm-hmm.
and then a 9-patch. I figure that's a nice progression um, of figuring out pieces and then nesting your seams. And
Right.
then I do a pinwheel to get them some half square
Okay, that's a
triangle.
good idea too. A pinwheel or a friendship star.
Yeah,
I like the
yeah, I've
friendship
done the
star.
friendship star also. Um,
You know, a good thing for the teaching a 9-patch, you could also teach it as a strip set, which is a whole nother technique.
yeah.
Because because I'm working on finishing up designing my course, my 9-block quilt sampler course. And all those blocks are in there. The pinwheel. I think I have a friendship star. I think I have a rail fence. I still got some loose threads.
Yeah, but if we make, so there's 4 blocks, we make 2 of each, and then we just put them together as a table runner with some simple borders. And then I had a gal email me, and she wanted to buy the pattern from me so she could teach it somewhere else as a beginner sampler. And I'm debating if I want to clean up the instructions a little bit, because I do have handouts that I give my students.
Right.
I noticed the way I had written the cutting instructions. One of my most recent beginners was getting confused, so I'm like, I should probably rearrange some of that cutting. And I just talk them through everything when I'm teaching. I don't refer to the handout for much of anything.
Yes, I do the same thing. I'm like, I made this, but I'm just going to talk.
Yeah. So I'm wondering if I should just, direct
Okay,
her.
now they're right. Now they're correct.
Yep. Beautiful.
Now I got them right. They're
Yep.
all lined up.
And now you put a stripe on the edge.
Awesome. Hey.
So I'm wondering if I should take the time to sell a pattern, or if I should just tell her to go find, an Alex Anderson book, or, one of the other great books that are already out there for beginners.
I mean, or she just, Pinterest. Some of them. That's why I want to teach the 9 sampler block I came up with, because it's just, they're all simple, basic blocks. They learn, half square triangles, nesting seams, strip sets. And once you learn those basics, you can go and make any quilt.
Exactly. And that's the key, is to, be able to look at a quilt and be able to dissect and figure it out.
And I'd love to be able to do that now. I'm like, oh, well, they just made, that's just a bunch of half square triangles. Or
that's why I always crack up when I get people asking on my videos, but what size did you make it? I'm like, you can make it any size you want. If you start with 2 and it's a 3x3, then you'll end up with 6. If you start with 4 times 3, you'll end up with 12.
Yep.
But those people that don't do math are what keep us pattern designers in business. So
right. That is the struggle, is math.
And quilt math especially is one of those trust but verify situations.
Exactly. Like, is that really right?
Make a test block.
Yes. Always. I always make a test block. I love a test block.
So there it is with the
Yay.
Yay.
Okay, those 2 are done.
Oh, wait. Oh, that's another. I was like looking down at the next step. I'm like, where in the heck is that half square triangle gonna go?
All right. So those are done.
Oh boy, I just got a text message that I won the lottery, which was great, but I haven't played the lottery.
Scammers are at it hot and heavy lately.
Yeah, just text a code to this dude. Yeah, right.
I don't think so, buddy.
The only problem with cotton cuts triangles is that sometimes my machine likes to mangle the ends.
Yes, they like to eat those ends.
And that's because I was telling people on a recent live, I usually use my single stitch throat plate because that hole right there obviously is much smaller and your fabric doesn't get caught down in there. But I haven't switched my throat plate out since the last time I had this problem. So I will just slow down and let it get going before I pedal to the metal. And now we have to be careful about how we line up our triangle with our rectangle.
Okay. So I have this and I have this. Okay. Yep, because I did my first one wrong.
No, no.
I had my A in the wrong side.
Yep, it makes that little angle like that.
Whoops. I got one of them right.
I've been thinking that I haven't had a lot of sojo lately, motivation to quilt, because I'm really not, we're at over halfway through the year, so my temperature quilt is in that phase where it seems like a chore, that messy where you're like slogging along.
Right.
And besides that, I'm not making a quilt for anybody. I have a new sampler pattern, so that's just, that's a business design, just get it out there and hopefully people will like it. But I'm, so I don't have that motivation or that thought in mind of who's going to enjoy my quilt when I'm done. So it's kind of like, why am I doing this?
Right. Makes it hard to get into it.
But when you have pretty things like these batiks, it's
there. We'll do it like that.
is fun.
Is your other one you're working on a batik one? Or is it different fabrics?
My temperature quilt is scrappy, so there are some batik. The sampler I just did was same thing, kind of a stash buster scrappy thing. So this is my only pure batik project right now, is this Under the Sea. And I've got Little Mermaid songs going through my head every time.
I know, I do too. Every time I hear that, I start singing it in my head. Okay. All right, so then put those together. Oops, I don't need both of them. Now all the pressing instructions make sense once you get going.
Yeah, this one has been nice. My first project, one of the fabrics in my colorway was backwards. So every time it looked dark on the instructions, I was using a lighter fabric. So I felt like I was pressing backwards all the time.
Right.
Okay, and 1A is done.
Nice.
And then we
Right
start
behind you. Finish number 2.
And the nice thing about this square and a square unit is all 4 sides are the same.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, I don't need to be matching up any other fabrics tonight,
Right?
apparently.
Trying to figure out, did I get this in the right corner of the...
Yeah, I've already ripped twice, so.
I would love to be a fly on the wall while the designer is laying this out and deciding where the lines are going to be for the...
Right. I don't know how they, yeah, that's a lot of work they put into this and all those colorways that they put together. Like, okay, got mine first line done and it looks right. Yay.
Yeah, we actually had Kim, the owner of Cotton Cuts, on our podcast in season 2.
Yes, I think that's how I first heard about this.
So
I've listened to every episode.
Yeah.
All the way back. I've binged the whole podcast since probably last year. So
super fan. We love it.
Yes. That's been very helpful because that's how I met Tori. That's how I got in the book club. We just wrapped up our book club and I won 6 free months of her DMMC program. I'm so excited.
That's awesome.
I'm ready to get the ball rolling on this. And
yeah, for building a business that I love. And she's so patient with me because I've been talking about having a quilt course for literally years and it's still not done because I don't know, I just stall out and don't ever.
It's hard because when you work full time, like you said, and you get home, I don't have a physical job, but just, mentally I'm on the computer all day looking at, spreadsheets and numbers. And I'm just tired when I get home and I don't always want to get on the computer and work on something else.
But Tori's such a great example because she just gets in there and does it. And so you're like, well, if she can do it, I certainly can.
Right. Yes.
Not that I'm any better. It just is like, get over yourself. Yeah. It's
okay.
So. And I am living on the edge and I am not matching the centers of these things. I'm just kind of eyeballing the triangle in the center.
Oh yeah, I don't know if I
Here.
can do that.
So,
They're gonna look terrible if I do that.
let's see if I fold. Oh, I did pretty good and got that lined
Look at
up.
you. And I'm gonna fold mine because I don't trust myself enough eyeballing this.
I know, and now that I've done that on those two sides, I am gonna crease and find the centers and do this
And then
correct.
I'm in my light and I can't see my lines.
Um, another trick from Tasha, since she sews with curves so much, I crease, and it works really well with batik. So when you crease to find the middle of your two units, you can just turn one of them over so that it like spoons in the crease of the other
Oh
one.
yes. Yep.
And
Like
then
a mountain and a valley come
yep,
together.
and then you don't really need to see,
That's a great tip.
kind of go on by feel.
Yeah. She's so smart.
Yeah, I use that tip all the time now.
Nice thing about batiks is you don't even have to press your crease. You just fold it and it stays.
Yep. There's so many things to love about batiks. The no wrong side
Yes.
is a big one, especially with these kind of.
That is really helpful. I'm working on an FPP project and the background is white on white.
Ooh,
And every time I have to like sit it on my pant leg and I'm like,
yep.
okay, which side's actually the right one?
That's how I do it too, is get it down like below the level of the table where there's a little bit
Yes.
more shadow and it.
I'm like, oh, actually, somebody told me that on one of my lives. I wish I could think of her name. And I was like, that is genius. And it works every time. I'm like, you just can't. It's so light. It's the Missouri Star white background fabric, and it has their Missouri Star on it. And it's
Oh,
just,
okay.
you just can't see it.
Yep. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, I have that problem when I do patriotic quilts and I'm using different.
I think I did this wrong.
Did what?
I think I used the wrong E. Am I supposed to be? Oh, I used the wrong. I used the big E's. I used the
Oh,
wrong
yeah.
one. Gosh darn it. I'm really batting 1,000 today. I swear I know how to quilt.
You're figuring out where all the trouble spots are.
I am. Yeah, it is different. Especially when you don't have color.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm using a black and white pattern and I'm like, oh, wait a second. I didn't realize I had little E's.
So for our viewers at home, we have our same blue fabrics, and one of the triangles is much bigger than the other one. And so one is going to be some flying geese, and the other one is the sides of our square and a square.
I'm telling you, this ripper saves so much time. And that little rubber tip like holds on to the thread too, a lot of it anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So stay tuned for more Ripper 101.
Right. Well,
All right, I'm moving these out of the way. I don't want the biggie. I want the little ones.
it is a necessary skill to know how to rip when those stitches just don't end up in the right place. And I've always been intrigued by the people that said there's some trick about when you turn it around and use the put the knobby end, the
Oh,
and you
uh-huh.
whether that's like on the inside of the seam or I don't know which. I think it would
I've
have
never been able to do that.
and
And they just go
supposedly
along. Yeah.
yeah.
I'm
Um
like, how?
I got it going a little bit of- on one of my last seam ripping adventures, but I think it works better on clothing when you have like a long seam along your pants or something that you're trying to rip. For short little quilt seams, I don't think it is as
Right.
useful. And I don't ever, the pattern gives us complete measurements for what each unit is supposed to be. I have never double checked. I trust that with pre-cut things,
Right.
they're going
You're
to
like,
be
I
about
think we're
right.
good.
But I'm sure for some people, they double check and make sure everything is exactly
Mm-hmm.
the right size. I was really proud of my beginners in my last beginner class. They didn't really have to do much trimming at the end. All their
Oh,
blocks were
that's nice.
consistent. So,
Yeah.
even if they were a little bit smaller than I had intended, they were consistent. So they
Mm-hmm.
didn't have to change one to match another one.
Nice. Now, your beginners, do they usually have their own machines or
Yeah.
do you provide? I've only had one student out of my 5 that's had their own machine. I've provided my own every other
Yeah.
time.
Yeah, I've had since I do teach out of a shop, there have been a couple occasions when people didn't have one and we were able to provide them a loaner rental
Mm-hmm.
machine for the weekend and um, so they could take the class. And because I understand there are people that have never sewn and they're like, I don't even know if I'll like this hobby.
That's
So
true.
why would I go buy a machine? But then there's a lot of people that are like, oh, I haven't sewn since high school and back in the day when home ec was a thing and people
Mm-hmm. I know. I wish I had my first apron I made in high school. It was really cool colors. It was black background with like neon green and pinks, and it was big old squares, and it had big
yeah.
roses on it. It was really cool fabric. I have an awful lot of this one left. Oh, I do make 4. All right.
Nice contrast in our square.
Nice. I like these colors together. These. Kind of reminds me of water, the one blue.
Yep.
Okay. So when you do a square and a square, do you do one on each opposing end, or do you just do all the way around?
No, I do opposite sides.
That's what I thought too.
And then I press out and then do the other two sides. And talking about beginners, it's you kind of have to plan your blocks for when you teach them about chain piecing because a lot of times with just when you're only making two blocks at a time and they only have a few pieces, a rail fence,
Right.
there's no real rhythm to get into chain piecing. But by the time we get to the 9 patch, I can explain. And they're all like amazed that they don't have to thread in between everyone.
I'm all for anything that saves time. I love chain piecing.
Yeah. I do so many demos and samplers that I rarely have enough pieces ready to do any chain piecing. So I use my thread tabs in between.
Oh yes. I know. I have I don't know where I have a leader, but I don't know where it's at.
And it was so
I
funny
don't
because
always use them.
right. I when I start and stop for the day, I usually take one. And so I was over at my mom's house and we were sewing and I was starting a new project, so I didn't have a thread tab with me at her house. And so I asked her if she had a scrap. She said, "Oh yeah, I have one." I swear it was almost the size of a fat quarter that she threw across the table at me. And I'm like, "This is what you're using for scrap?"
You're like, no, I meant like the end of something you cut off.
Right? I'm just like expecting, a 2-inch piece and she gives me
Right.
a
That's
6-inch
funny.
piece. Oh,
Like, yeah, that's scrap.
okay. So our flying geese have the same dark background, so that contrast isn't quite as good, but at least with the dots on one and the leaves on the other,
Right.
gives you a little bit of difference there.
Oops.
And we are putting these out to the edges of our square and a square. So do you usually watch TV in your sewing room, listen to music? What are you doing?
I usually will do like I love to watch cooking competitions, baking shows, even though I don't bake.
Yeah.
I try to turn on something that I don't have to like really like sit and watch, but I can listen. Or I do podcasts. Here pretty soon it'll be football. I love NFL and football
Okay.
season's coming. So that's why I really put the TV in here was for football. I'm like, I can't, like, it's Sundays, and I'm like, I always want to go sew, but I want to watch football too.
Yep. Who's your team?
Indianapolis Colts.
Okay.
Because I'm from Indiana, and then also Detroit Lions. That was my grandpa's team. So
it's been so fun to watch the Lions the last few years when they're finally in contention.
right. I mean, growing up, that was because they always played on Thanksgiving.
Mm-hmm.
That had to be on, and my grandpa couldn't hear a thing. So it was blaring as loud as could be. And if they were visiting us in Indiana from Michigan, he'd sit out in the car and listen to it on the radio.
Uh-huh.
With the radio blaring and as loud as he could.
Yep. I moved around so much, I never really had a hometown team. And now I'm just a fair weather fan, Arizona Cardinals. Find ways to lose most often. And although we've had a few runs.
I'm going to change my bobbin for further. Well, the Colts always get to the playoffs and then they're done. So, don't have the best luck with quarterbacks either. We always get these nice young quarterbacks and they always end up injured and not able to finish. So, I don't know. We'll see.
Yep.
I have a son that is a diehard Colts fan. He'll wear the socks and everything when it's Colts are playing.
Yeah. Well, that's fun. Yeah, I pay attention enough so I know what's going on if I'm talking to people that are real fans, but it's not a big deal. I do not have a TV in my sewing room, so I will usually bring my tablet up and, turn on YouTube or something, but I tend to just be in the quiet a lot.
I do.
Plus, when I'm looking at my long arm, I can't really hear.
Oh, true.
TV or anything we're on. So, and people, I've thought about headphones and stuff to be able to listen to, but I've also got weird ears that don't hold the ear stuff very well.
I have some, but I don't. They hurt my ears, so I asked for my birthday. My husband got me the kind that you just sit on your head, and I love them.
Yeah, I've seen a friend of mine used to have the one that went around your neck and with speakers, kind of. So
yes, I've seen those.
Thought about that, and that's what our second unit will end up like.
That's really pretty.
Yeah, I like that.
I did get a smart TV for my sewing room, so I do pop up YouTube up there. I will watch tutorials on it. Sometimes if somebody's live, I'll put it up there.
I know, that's so nice to just, with the community of live streamers.
I think
live quilters, you can always find.
Oh, it's stuck. Okay. I thought I was short a triangle, but it's just really stuck together.
Yep, you got to be careful with
those batiks stick together.
I was just thinking, I have my quilted eagle guy that's been my mascot for the Flyway Mystery.
Yeah.
I do have some fishy things that I could get out. But
that's fun. Yeah. I feel like we need an aerial.
Yeah.
Little stuffed. It's so funny that you say that because when we were in Michigan on vacation and we're all on our motorcycles, we were pulled off at a gas station and some of us were just parked off to the side while somebody else got gas. And in the car next to us was a child. I didn't see the child, but you could hear that they were watching Little Mermaid in the car. And all of us are grandparents. So we were all singing,
Yeah.
all of us on motorcycles, and we're singing Under the Sea. It
Mhm.
was really funny. Like every one of us knew what the words were. I'm like, oh, I remember this
For
back in the
sure.
day.
For sure. Yeah, I think I have an old Beanie Baby that looks like Flounder. So
Yeah. I'll have to ask my granddaughter if she has any Ariels. I don't know.
or
She's got
Nemo.
tons of stuffed animals.
I guess it was Nemo, the orange one.
Yeah.
Flounders were more the Marina colors, so blue
Hmm.
and white.
That's another movie I love is Finding Nemo. That's a really good one. Times are changing. It's starting to get darker earlier here in Indiana.
Yep. I notice it more in the morning that it's
Mm-hmm.
darker. It's
Yes, and I know I'm going to miss that because I always loved when I leave for work and it was still sunny.
still
It's
light
still
out.
bright and sunny out, and oh yeah, now it's going to be dark on the way in and dark on the way home.
Right. Oh, but
I may have just sewed those incorrectly. I did.
oh no.
I forgot to open up my other side.
Oh,
I
on
really
the
did it on. I did it. I didn't do it on all of them though.
okay. Well, we got too busy talking about little.
Whoops. This one I didn't do that on. Yep, I did it on that one. That one. How did I do that? I did it on all of them but one. Me and my seam ripper are just really getting. I
Cozy,
mean, it is fairly new. I didn't need to test it out this much.
right? Just
I
once.
suppose you're all done. You're all done, aren't you?
I am, like I said, it's so fast.
I know. I do find I get tripped up when I talk, and so
Yep.
maybe that's why I sew in my room by myself. I don't know. Like I said, this new seam ripper is so much faster than what I used to use, so that's helpful.
Yeah, you do need to replace those every few years. The blades get dull. And it's
Mm-hmm.
although I have heard that they make replacement blades, I just think it would be a hassle to
Oh,
try and
yeah.
take it apart and get a new blade in there.
Mm-hmm.
So
How many more clues do you have on your flyaway one?
let's
You guys coming to the end on that?
we are November.
Okay. So do they always have multiple puzzle mystery quilts going at one time?
There are
Like, do they always
usually
overlap?
there are two, and yeah, so they'll overlap a couple months, and then
Okay.
this one, yeah, um we have clues 8 and 9, and then the final reveal is in November.
Okay. And they're
So
all usually 10 clues.
yeah, everything's 10 clues. Yeah, so that's what, 4 months of overlap. And then it'll
I guess you kind of have to do that. Otherwise, you have a lag and people would lose interest.
right. And they're still for anybody that's watching, you can still sign up for about another month if you want to get in on Under the Sea, because once they ship at the end of September, they cut off signups and you can't get it anymore. So,
Mm-hmm.
of course, all of us that were jumped on it right at the beginning are
I
like,
did. I ordered that day. I was like, I don't. Well, they say that a lot of this stuff sells out right away. And I was like, I don't want to miss. And I had about 3 colorways. And of course, you pick one, and then you like see the others, and you're like, "Oh, I should have got that one."
Right.
And because I really liked the Medusa one. I think it was batiks, but it was like pinks.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's what Sean got, the pinks and purples and stuff. So
Probably.
I like that one. I like the Tula pink one too.
Yeah,
That
some of
one
those
was
bright
pretty.
ones are
Yeah.
really fun.
I like yours because it reminds me of like when I was growing up, all the neon color. Everything I owned was neon.
Mhm.
My high tops, my everything. And I'm drawn to her stuff because that's what it reminds me of.
Yep. Yep. She does have fun, bright colors. Um, I'm always amazed when I see the folks in the online communities that are doing 2 and 3 different versions.
I saw that. I was like, why are you doing more than one?
Yeah.
Why? And I even got the small version.
Yeah, I'm doing a small one
I was
too.
like, I don't know how much time I'm going to have.
I
I,
should one of these days choose a large one because I do like the extra border type treatments that they do to make
Mhm,
the design bigger. And it's
right.
not always just adding a single border. They put some design elements so it does extend the design
Mhm.
a bit, which is really neat. Um, yeah, so I like that aspect. I was going to say something else. Oh, about the different colorways. Um,
Mhm.
I know Amber at So Majestic is doing the Halloween version, which is called
Oh,
Davy Jones Locker.
yes.
And it has, I'm always hesitant to choose anything with like people or real distinct animal prints because they can get turned around the wrong way,
Mhm.
where you chop off a body part and then it looks really strange.
That's funny. Don't want to chop off any body parts.
Right?
Okay, let's see if I can finish this and not screw up. So that has to go together. Whoops.
I'm looking at my bin of blue fabrics, and there are a lot of navy and teal color combinations that are just like what we're sewing with.
Yeah. It is your favorite.
It is my favorite, yeah.
Okay. I think I'm going to fold it in half. Mine looks a little wonky, and I don't know if it's me or my fabrics are different sizes. I had a couple pieces that look like they were cut a little bit different size than, but I think it'll be okay.
Yeah, a lot of times you can
It's,
hide that in the seam
I
allowance.
was just gonna say if it's under a quarter, I just leave it and it'll get hid inside, and nobody will ever know. And if anybody wants to look inside your quilt, they're not really your friend.
Yeah.
My other quilt I'm working on is a 3-yard quilt, and it's with batik patriotic fabric.
Oh, fun.
Um, I have all the blocks done. I just need to assemble. I need to work on that this week and get it done.
Yep. I I think the 3-yard quilts are really, really fun um, for quick and easy, when you want
Yes.
that dopamine hit of a
Mm-hmm.
quick finish.
Well, my quilt shop had it all mocked up, and it was a 3-yard quilt book that I already had at home, and I was
Yeah.
like, oh, well, I'm going to go ahead and get the bundle they made, and I probably will donate it. I got to see if there's a local. I'll get with the quilt shop that's closest to me, see if there's anywhere that I can donate it to.
Mm-hmm.
I just want to make it just to make it.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just want to sew things.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. I'd like to try some of their designs. They have such nice big areas for the focal print.
Mm-hmm.
And it would be fun to do kind of use novelty prints and do almost an I Spy in there.
Oh
You
yes,
don't
it would. Yeah,
necessarily have to, you could make it a little more scrappy.
Mm-hmm.
that way. Be fun.
I do find their cutting instructions a bit difficult.
Mhm.
I think just because I've cut so many quilts out, I would group more things together in one instruction. So I just kind of I read ahead and then I cut it how I would cut it.
Right.
It's a lot of little steps, and I'm like, but I'm cutting 12 of those eventually. Why don't I cut them all together?
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'll just kind of read ahead and do it how I would do
And
it.
then I'll find patterns that tell you to cut all the triangles. And I'm like, no, I want to sew two at a time HSTs. So
Yes, I do too. I don't, and this is can't remember. Yes, we made half square triangles in this one, and it wasn't pre-cut triangles.
right.
I don't like it. I'd rather make my half square triangles from a full square first.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. I don't think I screwed these up too bad.
I'm crossing my fingers for you.
I know. Okay. No, it looks right.
Yay!
Okay. There, I caught up, Auntie.
Yay!
Got my first clue done.
Your first clue for your first ever puzzle mystery. Hooray, hooray.
Yay. I know, I'm excited. I love these colors and stuff.
Yep.
They're going to be so pretty. That'll be so pretty. I don't know what they're going to do, but
I know. They probably won't even end up next to each other in the final.
Probably. I love this one. This is so pretty.
Yep. Yep. It'll be interesting to see how that comes together, because with that sharp right angle at the bottom, I'm like, that's got to be a frame for something else.
Great.
So
yeah, or we're going to make more of these and we're going to have a pinwheel or something.
Yeah, it could be.
Together there.
Lots of fun. Fun ways to put that together. So we will certainly see how that comes together. Well, it has been a delight spending the afternoon with you. Thanks for coming on. And
yes, thanks for having me.
We will definitely have to do this again sometime.
So fun. I'm excited to get my first clue done. Take some